Hey guys, welcome back to Dinner and a Show on the road. I'm Brian. Um, Camera setup is a little different today because, well, the camera mount on my car broke. So a new one's on the way, so it'll be back up soon. But I just got through viewing not The Mummy, which came out this weekend, but Captain Underpants. Based off a comic series or a book series that came out like way back in the day when I was a kid. And I remember my parents didn't let me watch it because of the potty humor. But anyway, this movie, I was not expecting anything from it. I thought it was just like the lowest form of humor. Like going into the theater, or movie, thinking, it's just gonna be dumb, but seeing the reviews of it, Rotten Tomatoes, I mean, it's not like the holy grail of, oh, this has good reviews, it's definitely going to be a good movie, I'm going to go watch it. It actually, I went in, so I'm like, okay, it might be good. We'll see, Weird Al does the credits song, so, I was like, okay, I'll go at least for the song, because it was a lot of fun. Pretty funny. Weird Al's always funny. No, but this movie was actually pretty good. It was pretty, it surprised me on every level. And it has a lot of talent. I want to say, okay, Nick Kroll's in there, Ed Helms, Kevin Hart, Jordan Peele. It's pretty funny. And, oh gosh. I forget the other guys. Oh, sorry. Sorry, people. It's hard when your phone's the camera, so you can't really look stuff up. But anyway, so the story is basically these two guys, George and Harold. George is played by Kevin Hart. And they're two kids. They go to an elementary school, and they are, I guess, the last line of defense for just keeping the school lively and just the laughing going, because Principal Krupp, who is Ed Helms, he's a mean principal, mean principal, and he's been trying for ages to try and get these two kids separated, but he doesn't have any proof. But he finally does one day, and just as he's about to separate them, George has a hypnosis ring to try and hypnotize him to leave them alone, and it surprisingly works. And just for fun, they turn him into their superhero that they created in their treehouse, Captain Underpants, because superheroes look like they're always flying in their underwear. So why not make a Captain Underpants who actually does it in real life? And guess what? That works too. So their principal is now Captain Underpants. So anyway, with that, and of course he has a villain to fight at the end, Professor Poopy Pants. Wow, my 5-year-old is coming out. It is, oh my gosh. All right, this movie is actually pretty good, pretty creative, and it actually uses various forms of animation, so it doesn't just use like traditional, at least, well, now it's traditional, like CGI animation. They kind of use kind of comic book style writing, or drawings, kind of like Peanuts, like the Peanuts cartoon. From the Peanuts movie that came out recently. They'll have a little bit of 2D animated sequences. Well, they did that a bit. They even did sock puppets. So yeah, they did some pretty creative, like different mediums of animation, and it was a lot of fun seeing that. Just the animated styles of they visualized like actions, like, okay, they sweat, just a quick little sweat drop. A little swoosh, they'll animate a little swoosh in there. Or just, when they're talking really loudly. You'll see the little lines, coming out of their mouths, as if something really loud, is happening. So that was really cool. This is probably a good movie. And yes, they do use potty humor because, Captain Underpants and Professor Poopy Pants using a giant toilet for his robot. Yeah, it was pretty... you would think, oh my gosh, this is so stupid. And maybe some people will think that, not everyone can just abandon their adult selves and just kind of let that inner child out. Kids will love it, though. I'll say that. But you know what? I'll give the movie credit and even the source material credit for making the potty humor smart. I know that's kind of hard to say, but the potty humor was used in a smart way that usually isn't or that I don't think there's ever been a really good way potty humor's been used. Even Dogma, they had like a giant turd demon, and that was that was really dumb. Here, Captain Underpants is the entire premise, so it's just kind of how it is, and it's not like gross. Like, the humor isn't gross. Like Dogma was gross, and a lot of other humor that a lot of potty humor. It's. I think what does it wrong is that it's just too gross, and here they don't rely on that. It's just the names. Professor Poopy Pants. And his full name is even funnier. And, just Captain Underpants. A guy running around in his underwear. It's kind of funny. So, yeah, I think that's why the potty humor works. And they do make fun of it in the movie. They're self-aware. The movie's very self-aware. Fourth wall jokes. The humor is very much like the Lego movie, in where it just makes fun of itself. And just the tropes that movies make and stuff. It was really cool. Fourth wall breaking. They'll even freeze the movie and explain things to you. Sure, exposition. It's just you got to have exposition, but they did it in a pretty funny way. But yeah, it was just kind of funny. They make fun of it. Oh, there's the mall cop. Lowest form of entertainment. Sure, they admit it. But yeah, it was pretty smart. Probably one of the funniest sequences was when... See, what happened, what activates the Captain Underpants alter ego is when Kevin or George or anybody, I guess, snaps their fingers. And what deactivates it is if Principal Krupp is splashed with water or hit with water, any type of water. So that was always entertaining to see how that would work. But yeah, so one of the funniest sequences was when he was in the treehouse with them, and they accidentally got water on him, and they figured out, oh, that's how he deactivates his power. So they were having a lot of fun, just snapping their fingers, splashing him with water, snapping their fingers, splashing him with water, snapping their fingers, splashing him with water, all over and over again. It was so funny. Yeah, they just had some really good humor. I enjoyed it, and the movie did have a lot of heart, and that's probably what makes this work. Not just the humor, not the potty humor, and not even the jokes, other jokes. It was the heart. Kevin and George are good friends, and they care. They want their school to be fun, and so they try to do what they can to be fun. Granted, pranking everybody and laughing at others' expenses is probably not the best way to do that, but they're little kids. What are you gonna do? So they do that, and in the end they do use their pranks to help somebody, for the good. So that, and without hurting anybody. So that was good. They learned a little bit. Music was fun. Like I said, Weird Al's credit song was really funny. Trying to think what else. All the characters were great. Professor Poopy Pants, he was funny. He kind of has this weird European accent, probably Eastern European. It was great. Um, Good climax. I mean, the movie was pretty short. I mean, it was. I think I went to the 10 o'clock showing today, and I got out at around 11:30, and that includes like the 20 minutes of commercial. So that's it's not too bad. So I guess it's a pretty short movie. Your kids, if you have kids, they're gonna love it. It's goofy. It has heart. I'll give it a solid high five. This is pretty good. It came out the same weekend as Wonder Woman, so it's like two drastically different superhero movies have come out, and they both have done pretty well. I think superhero movies are doing fairly well so far this year. You've had Logan, you've had Guardians of the Galaxy, Wonder Woman, and Captain Underpants. And that, surprisingly, I would say that Guardians of the Galaxy 2 has been the weakest one out of all of them. And Captain Underpants, they didn't do that. They knew their audience. They knew what to do. They and they executed it pretty well. They stuck pretty close to the source material, I think. Correct me if I'm wrong. I've never read the books, but it looked pretty accurate. It was, what's even funnier is that they made the book. Like the kids made the comic, and Professor Poopy Pants is like, oh, they want a villain, eh? Well, I'll be their villain, and he dresses like him, and he gets his stuff. So he gets the ideas from the kids who make a comic book based off him. It was pretty great. So yeah, I already gave my rating a high five. Yeah, if you care to lose a little. Or just watch it with a few friends, I think I was the only one in the theater. It's 10 o'clock at night, and it's an animated movie, so I was going to be very surprised if kids showed up for it. Anyway, it was a lot of fun. I enjoyed it. Go watch it. It's a good family fun film. Don't let the name, deter you from, just having a funny time. All right. I'm Brian. This is Dinner and a Show on the Road, and I will see you at the movies.